Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm actually starting my first day of my new job. I'm headed there now. I always get nervous when I'm starting a new job or if I'm doing something new. It's like I get these jitters and butterflies in my stomach. So this place does seem pretty laid back. I met all of the staff there and everyone seems to be pretty chill, pretty cool. So I'm hoping those will be the vibes today. I'll let you guys know how my first day went. I'll let you know what training consisted of, and just pray for me that I get there on time, okay? So it's the next day, and I have to tell you guys how my shift went last night. So it was my first shift, it was my training shift, and the shift was from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I know the last thing I said to you guys was that I was running late on my first day. I am not that type of person. I'm the person that will show up early and wait a few minutes in the parking lot for my shift to start. I pulled up at 3:01 and I walked in at 3:02. And I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but you want to put your best foot forward on your first day of work. So I didn't want to be that girl running on CP time, you know? So I was apologetic when I walked in. I did say, hey, sorry, I'm running late. I hit some traffic on the freeway. It was fine. They were really chill about it. So this was my training shift. I did not know what to expect. They knew I came with a bit of experience in the urgent care. So the doctor actually told the nurse practitioner, just throw her into the fire today. So in the actual office, there was me, there was the nurse practitioner that I was training with, there was a medical assistant and a clerk, and an office manager, and he stayed in the office the full time. The supervising physician, he was there at the beginning of my shift. He gave me his phone number. He let me know that he's always available if I have questions about anything. And one thing that was a bit different and interesting to me was he asked me to send him, and this is a protocol for all the providers in the office, to send pictures of all x-ray imaging that we get for all patients. So I'm guessing they had some issues with interpretation of an x-ray at some point in the past. And so that's just what he preferred. So they do have a radiologist who does review all of the imaging, but the turnaround time is 24 hours. And that's opposed to my current job where the turnaround time is between like 10 minutes and 35 minutes. So it's definitely a difference, but I think that could be a good thing. I'm feeling pretty confident in my x-ray interpretation. I plan to interpret the x-ray myself, not discussing it with the patient, but just reviewing the image and knowing what my interpretation is, sending him the image and then telling him, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts? Because I don't want to get to the point where I'm using him as a crutch, you know, where I'm sending him the image, waiting for his interpretation and then moving forward. All right, so let's talk about the training. So pretty much yesterday's training consisted of the nurse practitioner showing me around the office. She showed me the medication room, and it's interesting because there they actually have a lot of antibiotics on site. So the amoxicillin, children's amoxicillin is a liquid suspension. So in the office, it's actually a powder that needs to be reconstituted. So that's definitely something that I'm going to have to learn. Never done that before. It takes me back to my bedside nursing days. So I'm actually excited to learn a new skill. I'm just really accustomed to sending prescriptions over to the pharmacy and then not really having to be hands-on and dealing with the medications. So the charting system that they use at this clinic is called eClinicalWorks. Y'all, I hate it. It is not easy to navigate at all. It's not user-friendly. There's a lot of typing involved, and maybe I'm being hypercritical of it because the current system that I use at my other urgent care job is called Xperity, and it's just easy to navigate. So maybe I'm just not accustomed to this eClinicalWorks, but it actually took me a really long time to chart on the few patients that I did see. So actually, let's talk about that next. So within the 7-hour period that I worked, there were a total of 15 patients that came to the clinic. Luckily, I really only had to see 3 patients yesterday. I was really busy trying to download the charting system on my computer and plugins and connect to the printer and, you know, doing all sorts of other things. So I really didn't even have to see patients, which was a nice little break. But I think 15 patients in a 7-hour period, it really wasn't too bad. The majority of the patients that came in were children coming in requesting flu and strep swabs. So similar to at my current urgent care job, they really discourage the PCR tests just due to the increased cost. So the medical director was chatting with me and he said, if possible, your first go-to should definitely be the rapid testing, and then the PCR testing will be your fallback. So I actually did have a patient. One of the patients that I saw was a child who was coming in with a sore throat, fever, and a cough. And the mom was really convinced that this patient had strep throat. But if you know anything about strep throat, you know that typically there's not a cough associated with it. So I wasn't really convinced. I did the rapid test anyway. After I gave her the initial negative results for the flu, the rapid flu and the rapid strep test, she was really convinced that her child still had strep. So she really wanted me to run the PCR strep test. And again, I wasn't convinced, but I told her, if this is something that you want, absolutely, I have no problem running the test. So of course that was negative as well. And I told her, your kid has an upper respiratory infection. So she was really receptive to that. But overall, I would say all the patients are the same as what I see at my urgent care. I saw really no difference. There were a lot of children though. And something that's interesting is that at this clinic, they see children from birth. And that was interesting because at my current urgent care, we don't see children under 6 months of age. So that's going to be interesting. I haven't cared for tiny little babies since NP school, I would say, and I really didn't see many there either. So it's going to be a new learning experience for me, and it's going to be just new territory. So I did say I want to learn some new things, so I'm looking forward to that. Something else that's interesting about this clinic is they don't do send out labs. So urine cultures, nope. Wound cultures, throat cultures, none of that's available. They did tell me that they're going to be working with a lab and send out tests will be available. They said sometime in the future, but who knows when that really will be. So that's going to be interesting because I'm really accustomed to sending urine cultures for all my children or elderly patients. So what I guess I'm going to end up doing is referring them to their PCP or to return to the clinic if symptoms don't improve. I'm not really sure how I'm going to navigate that just yet, but definitely something that's interesting for sure. Not going to lie, I don't love the hours. It wasn't so bad yesterday, like getting off at 10 p.m. Unfortunately, my children were still awake when I got home. I was hoping they'd be in bed, but overall, the hours aren't bad. Things did tend to slow down between the hours of like 8:30 and 10 p.m. I think we only had maybe a couple patients walk into the door, and we actually left 5 minutes early, which was nice. So I think it's something that I can get used to. It's really only one day a week. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Y'all, this is the best part right here. I have access to UPTODATE at this job. So as I was training with the nurse practitioner, I asked her, I said, hey, what are some of your favorite resources? And I showed her my old school books that I use, my antibiotic guide and my urgent care guide. And she's like, you still use books? And I just felt really old, although she's the same age as me. But still, I guess it's just not common anymore. Anyway, she told me that she uses UPTODATE, and I said, oh, that's nice. She said, oh, we get access here. And y'all, it was like joy just crept over my whole body because I told you, I've never had access to UPTODATE through any of my employers up to this point. So I kind of got sidetracked and I didn't get the login information during my shift yesterday, but best believe I will be getting it next week when I go in on Thursday, and I'm so excited about that. Overall, I think I'm really gonna like this place. The environment is really friendly, it's laid back. Overall, the staff and the clinic seem to be very family oriented, which I like, and the pay is good. So I think the combination of those things, I think this is gonna be a really nice place for me. I'm looking forward to just having like a seamless transition into this role, and I'm looking forward to telling you guys more about it. So comment below if you have any questions about my new position, and I will talk to you guys later.